Okay, so imagine a nuclear disaster occurs over 1,400 miles away, but it has an impact on your life and your livelihood in your backyard for decades. Well, it's exactly what happened to Welsh farmers in 1986. But why? So, April 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear disaster released a massive radioactive cloud into the atmosphere. The cloud travels across Europe, depositing radioactive particles as it went, all the way to Britain. So parts of the UK, especially upland areas in Wales, experienced significant radioactive fallout due to rainfall during the cloud's passage. So the radioactive isotope cesium-137 contaminated the soil and vegetation in these areas. So sheep grazing on this land ingested the contaminated vegetation, leading to radioactive contamination in their meat. Basically, the radioactive particles go into the atmosphere as weather systems travel down across Europe. When it rains, those radioactive particles go into the grass that the sheep eats, nuclear sheep. So, to protect consumers, the UK government imposed strict controls on the movement and sale of sheep from affected areas. So, over 4 million sheep across 9,700 farms in the UK were under these restrictions. And these poor Welsh farmers found themselves having to test their sheep for radioactivity levels. So, presumably, you go out with your sheep shearers and your milking gloves. Do you? Is that something you have? And a Geiger counter. But the mental thing, these restrictions remained in place for decades, and it wasn't until 2012, which is 26 years after the Chernobyl disaster, that the final restrictions were removed on sheep and sheep farmers in Wales and Cumbria in the north of England. So there you go. The next time you're taking a delightful stroll through Snowdonia and looking at some sheep grazing, just bring your Geiger counter.